Is. I think we've got a groupie for you, Nick, front row. I ain't saying anymore. He used to haunt Gloucester Rugby Club, so there's a rugby background. He's done his work, so it's not just done comedy and it's the theme. He's got some experience, so this is going to be good. You're in for a big treat. Nick is an actor in himself, performing himself. He will pull productions together and sessions together. So if you want sessions for all sorts of dudes, Nick's your man, and obviously get in touch. Without any more ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Gloucestershire's Nick.
Oh, thank you so much.
Right, let's just take this in first, shall we? I love an MC, because when you do gigs normally, like the MC will say to the crowd, just make sure your mobile phones are off, no heckling, but tonight it was, please go to the loo in case you wee yourself, which, looking around the room, I can understand. So I'm in that club now as well, this is nice, because I wasn't really sure, I've got to be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was chatting to a comedian friend of mine this afternoon. He's doing all right for himself. You may have seen him last week, just doing a little gig at the Royal Albert Hall on the Royal Variety Performance. Scott Bennett, Git. And I just phoned him up, so that was great. Loved you at Royal Variety. You've done so well, you've worked really hard. What was it like? He said, oh, it was a brilliant gig. Nearly 5,500 people in there. It was the best gig of my life. He said, how's your comedy career going? I thought, well, I've got to say something to impress him. I said, well, actually, tonight I'm doing a gig at Ashton, Somerville Hall. I said, oh, that sounds fantastic. That sounds really nice. How many have you got in? I said, I think there's about 17. He said, 1,700? No, just 17. He said, well, it'll be fine. He said, do you know anything about it? I said, well, I know little bits about it. I said, I know, for example, that Ashton Somerville was first mentioned in the Domesday Book around 1086. I said, I know that on their Facebook page, the most prolific people that push stuff on there is Squab Storage from Evesham. And I also know that this week a certain Tamara Bligh, who is an absolute scammer, if your admins are in here haven't realised, she's trying to push Coldplay tickets. And I hope to God none of you are parting with any money, because she's on loads of Facebook groups trying to scam that. And he said, what else do you know about it? I said, well, I know Ashton Somerville is a village that suffers from very real first world problems concerning food poverty. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, on the 5th of December, Nicky Rose put a post about, does anybody know where the best place to get Chinese delivered is from locally? And then on the 8th of December, that was followed up by Julie Rogers, rising contributor, who was panicking because she hadn't ordered a Christmas turkey. So he said, what else do you know about it? I said, well, I know that it's a village of 264 people in it, 122 males, 124 females, and the village hall boasts itself as an ideal place for parties, for weddings, for receptions, for births, for christenings, for wakes, for training, film shoots, and Asian weddings. Right? In a village of 264, 262 are white. I don't know who the other two are. And I don't know if you've done your research. Is there anybody in here from the village hall committee? No, of course there isn't. Was there? The average Asian wedding attracts 350 to 1,000 people. And according to your website, the village hall's got a maximum seated capacity of 35. Has there actually ever been, because I didn't know I was going to ask this, has there ever been an Asian wedding in the village hall? No. Cool. I just don't know why it's on your website, on the village hall. Like, you don't get random Asians driving around thinking, oh, that looks an ideal place for it. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you never know, when you come and do gigs, you never know what you're going to walk into. And I did a gig earlier in the year, and it was a place near Cirencester. And I just went on and said, oh, it's lovely to be here in Ashton Keynes. And straight away, this woman got up, she said, excuse me, I know it's spelled Keynes, K-E-Y-N-E-S, but in the village, we like to pronounce it Keynes. I hope you don't mind. So, no, that's fine by me. Got to be honest, does make you sound like a bit of a pretentious can't. And I haven't been asked back, I've got to be honest. I haven't travelled far. I've only come up from Gloucester, so this is a nice little trip, and it's not going to take long to get back. And normally when you go and do gigs and you say you're from Gloucester, you get the inevitable heckle, oh, Fred West. Yeah, but I mean, I'm Gloucester born and bred, proud of being in Gloucester. And I think the thing we're most famous for, apart from having a proper rugby side, and like Bath and Worcester. Most Bath person in? We've got a Bath supporter. Not going to admit it, are they really? We've got one Worcester person. The thing we're most famous for is the cheese rolling. Have you all heard of the cheese rolling? I've lived in Gloucester all my life, I've never done the cheese roll, but I've decided in 2025 I'm going to do it. And I've been practicing, and I've been rolling a baby belt down my drive, that's going well. And the cheese roll was banned for quite a number of years, and when it was reintroduced, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, BBC South West were there to record it. And one of the winners of one of the races was a 15-year-old girl from a particularly rough part of Gloucester. And they interviewed afterwards, and they said, Kylie, you've won. What would you like to say? She said, yeah, well, I have won, and I'm very surprised. And they said, why are you surprised? And I thought, oh, Kylie, just say something profound. You've got all these people watching. Say something like, wow, look at me. I'm 15. I've already got 6 kids by 10 different dads. I left school at 13 with no qualifications. Everyone wrote me off. My teachers, my friends, my family. And I thought, do you know what, Kylie, this is your chance to shine. And I trained really, really hard. And I got to the top of that hill. And I looked down and I was just focused. And when the whistle went, I threw myself off. I didn't care about my life, nothing. I just wanted to prove something. And I gave it my all. And I chased that cheese, and I got it, and I won, just to prove I am worth something. That's what I wanted her to say. What came out of Kylie's mouth to the question, why were you surprised, was just simply this: I don't even like cheese. I've been doing stand-up since, I don't know, 2002, seemed a lifetime, and you get ups and downs with it, obviously. And you know, when I started, I had dreams, I had ambitions. I thought, you know, maybe live at the Apollo, something like that. I've got an agent now. We sort of get on, but I've got to be honest, he's a bit of a wind-up merchant. Because he phoned me yesterday and said, Nick, in January, I've got you a gig at the O2. So that don't wind me up. I'm not in a mood. You know, there's no gig at the O2, and I put the phone down. And he phoned me straight back. He said, no, hear me out. I've got you a gig at the O2 shop in Gloucester, because the manager's leaving, they want a bit of a leave-in do, there's going to be about 5 there, do you want to do it? It's 20 quid, so yeah, I'll do that. But I'm my best year in comedy in 2022, I think. I went to the Leicester Comedy Festival and into the competition called the Silver Stand-Up, and I got through the heats, got through to the final, and I won. And I phoned my wife. I said, you're never going to guess, after 4 years of trying, I've only gone and won. And she's like, well, that's fantastic. What have you won? Because obviously I'm married to somebody from Mumbai, and that joke normally goes down far better, I've got to be honest. Obviously the Welsh accent didn't work. I said, I've won a trophy. She said, right, what else? I said, nothing, just a trophy. I'm back home a couple of hours later and I'm showing her this trophy. She's like, well, that's lovely. But what else have you won? I said, nothing, I just told you, it's just this trophy. Right. I've been on their website. Oh, have you? What about the £500 cash prize they were advertising? Well, I was gutted because I had that lined up for something special. And she's like, what have I told you all through our marriage? I don't know, there's been so many things it's hard to remember, to be honest. She'd never lie, and she's right. She's absolutely right. She shouldn't lie. She went away on a cruise last April with her girlfriend Chris, and she phoned me on the Wednesday. You all right? I said, yeah, fine, thanks. Are you missing me? I remember what she said, never lied, so I was like, no, absolutely not. She started clutching at straws. Well, I bet the dog's missing me. He wasn't, he was loving life. He was on my bed, I was feeding him from the table, we were down the pub every night, we went and got tattoos, well I did, and he was just looking at me this one day, and I knew he can't speak, but he was just like, I could read his mind, and he was like, Dad, this, just me and you, this is brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. Should we just move and not tell her where we've gone? No, mate, we can't do that. But we have been married, I think it's 25 years next year. And it has been hard to sort of keep the romance alive. And she was moaning about it the other day. She said, it'd be nice maybe on those rare occasions when we are intimate, could we have some music playing just to break the silence? So I thought, well, she's got a fair point. So I recorded a couple of songs. We were getting down to it. I put the first track on, Angels by Robbie Williams. I thought that will do. That's neither here nor there. I've got to be honest, I think my choice of song number 2 probably killed the mood slightly. The theme from Match of the Day. But we did dry January last year. We still drank, just no sex, and she's not a happy woman generally. I mean, just give an example. It was her birthday today. I got her a spa day. Apparently that was wrong. She hates grocery shopping. We celebrated Valentine's Day last year, and I did the romantic thing. I phoned the florist. Said, I'd like to order some flowers for my wife. I said, okay, no problem. Would you like a card? I said, yes, please. She said, what do you want on the card? So I just put to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And then she said, would you like a kiss on the bottom? I was like, brilliant. I can be there in about 10 minutes. She went, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yes, I know, I'm a comedian. I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she came back with, I bet you don't get many gigs, which I thought was just a little bit harsh. But she also complained that there was no surprises in our relationship anymore. And again, I took that on board. So the other night she was in the bathroom getting ready for bed. I went to the bedroom, turned the lights off, lit some candles, hid under the bed. And when she came in, I just grabbed her ankles, and apparently that wasn't the surprise she had in mind. But she did surprise me just before Christmas last year, because she said, you have remembered you're picking me up from my work stool tomorrow. That came as a complete surprise, because she's self-employed and works from home. So no, that's fine. So I got to the allocated place at the right time. She got in the car, and all I said was, have you had a nice time? And then it started. I was saying I'm drunk. No, but clearly you've had one or two. And we had silence for about 5 minutes. And then I got the classic, I don't think you love me. In fact, I don't think you've ever truly loved me. I said, well, I do, I have. Obviously no guarantees going forward. So well, if you love me, you can prove it right now. I said, well, how am I going to do that? She said, you can get on top of me in this car and you can make love to me. I said, well, that is not going to happen. She said, well, give me one good reason. I said, well, I'll do better than that, I'll give you 3. She said, what then? I said, well, number 1, it's 3:45 in the afternoon. Number 2, we're still outside Wetherspoons in the middle of Gloucester. And number 3, we've got your girlfriend Chris in the back of the car because we're giving her a lift home. And that's the thing. I've mentioned her girlfriend already. She went away on that cruise 7 nights with her girlfriend. I didn't bat an eyelid, absolutely fine. I wanted 1 night away with my girlfriend. Oh, the grief. The grief I got from that. But I retired in March 2023. So it's just coming up for 18 months of being with her pretty much 24/7, so this is lovely being out, honestly. We've just got to that stage, you know, that irritating stage, I call it. And to be fair, it's nothing major. Breathing, and if we're out in the car and we're coming up to a T-junction, I want to turn right and I'll say, is it safe to go? And she'll go, yeah. And as I'm pulling out, as long as you're quick. But it's been I've got to be honest, this past 18 months has been a bit of a voyage of discovery. I've found stuff out about that I had no idea about. I've discovered she's got an absolute talent for musical theatre. I never knew that before. When I say that, basically she can make a song and dance about absolutely anything. And the other thing I found out, and I'm just looking around, I guess we've got some unretired people in the room. The other thing I didn't realise, and it seems to be obligatory when you retire, is that you have to spend at least 3 or 4 days a week at your local garden centre. We're there every other day. We're there so much. I've got a loyalty card, and we went there on my birthday in August just to get a coffee and a bit of cake. And I gave the card over, and the lady put it into the till. She said, "Oh, congratulations." What do you mean? Well, I can see it's your birthday today. That's good, isn't it? I went, no, not really. She said, well, it is, because now you qualify for one of our senior citizens discount cards. And I'm thinking, just shoot me now. So I took it off her. I said, what's the main benefit of this? She said, well, now you can get 40% off a roast lunch. So I'll just give me the card. I got the card and I went back down and Lynn said, what have you got? I said, I've got a senior citizens discount card. So what's the benefit? I said, well, apparently you get 40% off a roast lunch. So we'll have a look at the terms. So I'm looking at it. You do get 40% off a roast lunch. Served every Monday between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. And I'm thinking, who the hell eats a roast lunch on a Monday between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m? Well, since August the 28th this year, I have been. Yeah. We've had a conversation as well about 2025. So I think you need to consider your attitude on certain things, because as you're getting older, you seem to be getting far more grumpier. So I think you need to lighten up a little bit. But I don't mind telling you, I've got issues. Well, I say issues. Let's call them by their proper name, shall we? Children. They're not even kids. They're 29, 41, 43. And we were having a discussion last Christmas, and I was just telling them about the David Attenborough programme I saw. And it was about global warming and how the ice caps were melting. And I said, of course, the people that affects most is Eskimos. God, they went absolutely, that is so discriminatory. I said, look, it's just a name that I've grown up with as a kid. I don't mean anything. That is so discriminatory, but of course you wouldn't understand that, would you? Because you've never been discriminated against. Right. Hang on, whoa. I said, last year, I applied for a gig in Bristol, and it said, acts wanted, particularly those of LGBT or POC persuasion. So I phoned up and said, I'm interested in the gig. They said, are you LGBT? I said, no. They said, are you POC? I said, I've got to be honest, I didn't really know what that meant. They said, a person of colour. I went, yes, I am. They said, what colour are you? I said, ginger. And they put the phone down. It's nice to see a fellow ginger in here tonight. I don't know about you, but I suffered as a kid being ginger. Mainly the name calling, copper knob, Duracell, ginger nut, you little ginger wanker. And I can remember saying, Dad, just leave it out. I was thinking about my dad the other day, and the older demographic will probably remember this, but on ITV on a Saturday we used to have World of Sport. I used to love World of Sport. And about 4 o'clock there was wrestling on, with proper wrestlers. And afterwards me and Dad used to have a pretend wrestle. and I tried to pin his shoulders down just for the count of 3. And I was probably 6 or 7 at the time. At the last minute, he always managed just to pop one of his shoulders up. And I think what he was trying to do was teach me a life lesson, and that being, no matter how hard something is, if you persevere at that task, when you achieve it, it'll feel brilliant. And he was right, because I can remember the day I managed to pin his shoulders down for the count of 3. It was just fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. I was exhilarated. I mean, he was 92 and in a care home. I thought a win's a win, isn't it, really? It wasn't just my father that gave me grief about my colour. I can remember January 1964. I started school the year before. We just come back to school after the Christmas break, and I went home and Mum was in the kitchen. I said, Mum, can I ask you a question? She said, what is it? I said, well, all the little boys in my class, they were talking about the presents they had Christmas Day. She was like, and? I said, well, I didn't get anything, did I? She went, no. There's a very good reason for that. I said, what is it? And she looked me straight in the eye. I was 5. She looked me straight in the eye and said, Santa don't stop for ginger kids. To be fair, I've had 2 ginger kids, saved me a fortune. It's been brilliant. I'm not keen, I've got to be honest, I'm not keen on this getting older business. I seem to spend a lot more time going to funerals than ever before, but I think it's just one of those, it's just occupation, whatever, isn't it? You just got to accept it. And so many funerals, you hear people talk and they say, oh yeah, the way he died, that's how he wanted. He would have wanted to have gone like that. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I know I don't want to go. I don't want to die shopping in the middle of Tesco's, and I certainly don't want to die if I'm out driving. And I certainly don't want to die whilst having sex, because if my wife found out, she'd kill me. And I was alright. When I got to 50, I was alright at 50. Because again, there's I think there's probably only 1, 2, 5 of you that are under 50 in the room. It will come to you, because when you get to 50, what you get through the post is free life assurance, and that was fine. I could deal with that. That changes when you get to 60, because then you get funeral plans come through the door. I knew a little bit about funeral plans, because when my mum died in 2019, she had one with the co-op, and I had to go in to sort it out. And I just went in and said, oh, I'm Nick Hill, Jean Hill's son, come sort the funeral plan out. And she said, well, take a seat. I sat down. She said, how old are you? I said, well, what's that got to do with it? Well, I'm 63 now. Right. Have you got a funeral plan? I went, no. You should, because you could go at any time. Oh, great. She said, do you know what it involves? I said, well, no, not really. She said, well, if you pay us like about £4,000 now, she said, you can plan the whole thing. She said, you could be buried or cremated, you could have a party, you could say where you want the party, you could put some money behind the bar, you could say what food you want, you could tell people where they've got to wear fancy dress, you could have a band to disco, whatever you want, you can have. We had a chat for about 15 minutes, and by the end of it, I'm looking forward to my own death. Right? That's just that's not right, is it? You shouldn't be doing that. But Mum did die in 2019, and this next bit is it is a bit hard, but I do it every gig. Because she had dementia, and she'd never seen me do stand-up, and she sort of knew things weren't right, but she wasn't fully on board. She didn't really understand what was going on, and she did some crazy things. So will you talk about it when I'm gone? I said, well, no, it's not really, a bit difficult. So no, it's fine, honestly, if you want to talk about it, I'll give them a blessing. And I know there may well be people in the room that you may have families or friends who've going through dementia, and it is horrible. And we went through about, 3 years with Mum before she finally went. And if you don't know, dementia sufferers, there's 3 fairly common traits they have. One, they're paranoid, and mums think people were living in a loft. They weren't. They tend to lose things, but they don't lose things. Basically what they do is they think there's people living in their house, so they hide things. Mum used to hide keys, bank cards. And the third thing is that they tend to wander. And Mum wandered quite a few times. And luckily, most times she was caught by her neighbours and they managed to get her back, phoned me, and I went round and sorted it out. But the last time she wandered, the neighbours didn't see her go. And I was at a party and they phoned me and said, Nick, Mum's gone and we don't know where she is. Okay. I phoned Gloucester Police, and to be fair, the police were brilliant. They picked her up within about 25 minutes, took her into Gloucester Hospital, and she stayed in over the weekend. I got a call on a Monday morning from a PC Davis to say, I'm a safeguarding officer and I need to come and see your mum to make sure she's okay. Is that alright? Yeah, fine. I said, so what I'll do is I'll meet you across the hospital about 6:30. Yeah, that's fine. So I met him and we're going up to the ward and we're just chatting, and I said, how long have you been in the police? He said, oh, about 30 years. Okay. How long have you been doing this job, safeguarding with dementia people? He said, not long, about 6 months. I said, okay. Word of advice, don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. So we get up to the ward and there's about 6 ladies and they've all got their families round, and the atmosphere is very subdued, just like this. And Mum's in this first bed here, and we come in. All right, Mum? Yes, who's that? So this is PC Davis. Right. Have you come to arrest me? And he's like, no, Jean, I haven't come to arrest you. Have you come to arrest Nicholas? No. Why would I arrest him? Has he told you he's only just come out of prison? And this officer, he looked at me, he said, I said, no, remember, don't believe a word she says. Because of course he murdered his brother. I said, no, Mum, Tim died in 2009, if you remember. He was only 49, he had ischemic heart disease. Can you remember that? Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? I said, that's because that's what happened. By now, the room had gone really quiet. Exactly like this, because everybody was listening in to what she was going to say next. And after about 5 minutes, she said in a very, very loud voice, and he made me have sex with him before we were married. This lady across the road in this other bed said, that is disgusting. So it didn't happen, did it? Look, she's not well, she doesn't know what she's saying. I grabbed this policeman and said, I cannot deal with this anymore. So that is, he said, no, I get that. And we got it, and we just get into the door. And just as we got to the door, she said, and in a voice, it was sort of under her breath, but loud enough so everybody could hear, she just went, it's that poor dog I feel sorry for. And we got outside, and I said to the policeman, so I'm really sorry you had to experience that, but you can see how bad she is. Even no, I get it. He said, I can see she's not well at all. He said, but a bit awkward, but I do need to ask you a question. I said, well, I haven't been to prison and I didn't kill my brother. He went, no, I know, but have you got a dog? And of course the answer to that was yes. And he just said, right, so that bit was true then. And he looked at me in disgust as if to say, so we do have a dog. And we didn't get one. I wasn't going to get one until I retired because I wanted to make sure we were at home with him every day. And before I love dogs, absolutely love dogs, but I was a little bit hesitant because I'd not had a dog for so long, and I wasn't sure whether I could go through that whole picking up the dog poo thing. Because as a kid growing up in the 60s, we didn't have to worry about that. You just let your dog out in the morning, he just went roaming everywhere, crapped everywhere. It turned to white chalk because of the calcium you kicked in, it went to dust, and that was it. It was happy days. And it got me thinking, that must have been quite strange for dogs to see their owner pick up their poo. And I've written a little play that I'd like to perform for you this evening, in which I play all the main characters, the dog, the owner, the cat, and it's about that moment when that dog saw its owner first pick up its poo. And I think it would have been something like this. What are you doing? Yeah, I can see you picking up my poo, but why are you doing that? You have to. What, just this one every time? Brilliant, okay. So, what's that? What are you using to pick it up? That little plastic bag. Looks a bit thin, to be honest. Told you it was thin. And what are you going to do now? You're going to carry it like a trophy. Brilliant. Oh, I can't wait to go home to tell the cat. Imagine that conversation. Calls the cat over. Come here. He said, you won't believe what's happened today. Said, we've been out for a walk and he has picked up my poo. Well, I don't know if he'll do it for you. You're a cat. Yeah, but you've got that little thing you use up to. I don't know. You're just going to have to give it a go. 2 weeks go by. That dog's out for a walk. Meets another dog mate. You alright? Yeah, brilliant. He said, what are you so happy about? He said, you know that cat at home I don't like? Yeah. He's gone. Is he? Why's that? I don't know. All of a sudden started crapping all over the house. I'll tell you one little story before I go. I found as I'm getting older, certainly this last couple of years, done some stupid things. I don't know if anybody's ever had their car stolen. Happened to me earlier this year. We went up to Minchin Hampton Common in Stroud for a walk with the dog, parked the car in the ice cream van, went for a walk, came back, get an ice cream, and the car's gone. And that's a horrible feeling. It's had a laptop in it, had cameras in everything. Phoned the police, they were up straight away. To be fair, they were brilliant. And I was explaining what had happened. We were stood outside the ice cream van. I said, the car's gone. I said, have you got your reg? Yeah, here's the reg. What sort of car is it? I said, it's a black Golf. And he went, what? What, that one up there? Well, yeah, exactly the same as that one. It can't be that one because we parked next to the ice cream van. And the ice cream van man, he'd heard all of this. He went, oh yeah, I've moved since then. And then we went to see a film in Cheltenham, and we bought tickets online, picked the tickets up at the cinema, went in, and the whole place was empty. And we've got the tickets, and we're walking up, and we find the road, and we go down the road, and there's 2 people in our seats. And I've got the tickets. I'm a little bit pedantic. I said, sorry, but you're in our seats. And he looked around at the empty cinema. I said, yeah, another, rules is rules, isn't it, mate? So he got up muttering and moaning. And he was like, we could have just sat. I said, no, these are our seats. This is where. I said, but the place. I said, it doesn't matter. These are our tickets. He moved. Somebody else came in. He had to move again. Somebody else came. He had to move again. He stormed out and then said, you caused all of this. That poor bloke was probably looking. I said, look, shut up. There are tickets. We're in the right seats. Just shut up and enjoy the film. And the film started, and we were in the complete wrong screen. Which is, yeah. But the most stupid thing I've done is we had a new kitchen fitted earlier this year, and on the last day of fitting, they scratched one of the light oak wooden doors. And I said to the fitter, what are you going to do about that? He said, well, don't worry, I'll order a new door. It'll probably be here by tomorrow, and we can just fit it. And well, yeah, that would be great if you could. Anyway, the next day came, no door, and this just went on and on and on and on and on. About 8 weeks, and I was pushing and ringing them, and I was just getting fobbed off, and it was just getting ridiculous. And then last Saturday, we were just going to go out, knock on the door, there's the postman, door-shaped parcel. He said, can you sign for this? Yeah, signed it, brought it in. And there's like, are you going to open it? I said, well, no need, clearly it's a door. So, well, no, you need to open it. I said, it's a door, look, you can see it. Just open, all right, if it keeps you happy, I'll open it. So I just broke the cardboard, had a look inside at this blue door. I got on the phone and I said, right, listen, that door I've been chasing for months and months has finally arrived. I said, well, that's really good because you've been waiting ages, haven't you? I said, yeah, I've been waiting ages. So we didn't have to ring us to tell us it had arrived. I said, no, I do, because I was expecting a light oak wooden door. It's turned up and it's blue. And she sniggered down the phone. So do you find that funny? She said, you've got to see the funny side of it. I said, right, no, I don't find it funny at all. So, well, the thing is, it's 5 to 12 and we finish at 12, so it's not all else I can do. I said, whoa, no, hang on a minute. I said, no, I'm not having that. I said, right, I'll tell you what you can do. Where are you based? In Manchester. I said, right, get off your ass, go to the warehouse, right, get me the correct door, get in your car, you bring that down to Gloucester this afternoon, knock on my door, I'll make you a coffee, and then you can sod off, and I never want to see you or your company again. That's the abbreviated version of it. There's a lot more swearing involved. So, well, hang on a minute, I need to ask you a question. I said, what is the question? She said, did you tell me the door's blue? I said, yes, the door is blue. And she said, you have peeled back the blue protective cover we put on all our doors. Listen, you've been an absolute challenge. No, this has been lovely, and I'm going to phone Scott on the way back to tell him how lovely it was. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful Christmas. My name's Nick Hill. Good night.